gentlemen, this is Wendell Brock, joined by Mike Davis. We're here tonight at Central A&M, Monticello, Illinois, for the Sages game with the A&M Raiders. Mike, about 30 seconds to go to kickoff here. How do you think things look?
Well, big ball game tonight, Beautiful weather for football. Both teams come in 1-0 after fairly impressive wins over unimpressive opponents. Problem tonight for the Sages, Monticello will run that power wishbone, that single wing power wishbone. It'll look like a Chinese fire drill back there. They'll have people all over the place. They handle the ball real well. And you basically have to control the line of scrimmage. That'll be a key for Monticello to control both sides of the ball. Here come the Sages now out in the field.
Just down, clock winds down. They'll reset and take off here in just a second. The Raiders 27-12 over Clinton last week. Almost 300 yards offensively. Obviously strong on the ground. Of course, turned over a lot of their seniors last year, but they have a great program, and they obviously brought back a good, strong under team.
Right. The prevailing saying in the Oka is that they don't have down years here. They simply reload, and they're a good ball club, but we're a good ball club too. And somewhat disparate styles. We'll be airing the ball out a little bit. I see Dawson being active tonight, and he's got some fine receivers out there. And of course, don't forget Pat Striegel, in my opinion, one of the premier small school running backs in the state of Illinois. So we have our own weapons too. It should be a whale-of-a ball game.
Well, Jack and Pat, of course, teamed up for 200 yards plus for us last week at home there, and a great opener for us. So we hope we can stay with them tonight.
Yep. We need confidence. We got our juniors that need to gain some confidence, and like I said, the key is going to be we're going to have to control both sides of the line of scrimmage tonight. Looks like we've settled the coin toss, and
handshakes all around here. We're getting ready to
go here. We'll break for this and be time to get started. Monticello won the toss and is elected to receive. And they will be defending the south goal. No, wait, there's been a reverse. We get the ball, we're going to receive.
I think Monticello did actually win the toss, but it's to defend. So.
Yeah, interesting. They probably, that's not a bad, when you're a little nervous, you want to get an offense out there and get a look at them right away and put your defense out in the field and see, and I think that's what Coach Ramsey wants to do.
Yeah, choice of goals sometimes, and they have taken that.
Not as much as a crowd as I had anticipated tonight. We brought a fair amount of people, but I thought it would be rocking tonight. I don't see the usual. I only saw one semi on the way in here. They usually ring the place with semis, and
didn't notice the road signs as many coming down either. A little lighter this year than they have been in the past, but I will assure you, if they stay up on top of it and head towards playoff time, it's a completely different picture then.
Oh, absolutely. Central did lose a lot of people to graduation last year, but they have 2 or 3 real key players back, and it's not going to be a walk in the park for either one. This is a big ball game in deciding who gets a head start or a leg up on the conference title. Huge ball game for only the second game of the season. So we're getting set here to go.
Larry McMaster's back.
Doesn't take a very for the Sages. Step back. Let's see how he's going to do it. If it's going to be a skidder kick, we're all set to go. And this ball game is on.
We are underway from A&M.
A little squibber down to about the 15. Going to come up. Good wedge in front. Ooh, he gets smacked. Ooh. He was leveled at about the 29. He's up and all right. Nice hit. That just gives you an indication it's going to be a hard-hitting ball game.
I think so. McMaster's made a valiant effort, but 3 of them head on right there.
He got stuck behind that wedge. It looked like we had a good wedge form up too, and they kind of came out of nowhere.
So here we go. 1st and 10 for the Sages.
Good field position. Got a little room to work with.
Sitting on about the 29-yard line. Jack Dawson down behind.
Come out to a slot to the right, and we go to the pitch. And he's got some room. It's Striegel. Nice pursuit. The outside backer, number 57 for Monticello, Drew Downs, and by number 15, Cole Mitchell. Gain of about 4 on the play. It's not a bad start. safe play, get it in Striegel's hands and let him go. Got some good blocking up front. I liked what I saw though. We got off the ball well. We didn't get pinned back on the ball, so we got off the ball. That's a good start for us. Pick up a 4. We'll come out again here to the near side of the field.
2nd and 7 from about the 33 here. Striegel again, the ball carrier.
Maybe a yard. Maybe a yard.
Like they have spotted it down about the 35, so he gained about 2. 3rd down.
Stopped by the inside lineman, Angelo Tintori, 6'1", 185-pound defensive end.
I think they're definitely stacking the defense, keeping an eye on Pat Striegel. Dawson back to pass, flips it over the middle. Nobody there.
Well, had a little trouble hanging on to
was hoping he'd get it to Adam Gaskell, I believe.
Couldn't establish a pocket. Pretty good rush by A&M on that particular play.
Comes up on 4th down. I'm sure the Sages will punt it away.
O-line knew that too. They had a couple of guys slapping their hands. They missed an assignment, so.
Number 24,
Colin
Studman. Colin Studman. Steady player, was there last year and back again.
He gets it okay.
Punted away, kind of a squib bounce.
Going to be on about their 39.
Not a great punt. Down by Chris Baker. A&M's going to take over about the 40-yard line.
Baker did a nice job of getting downfield, or else that ball might have been picked up and run back. He managed to get downfield in pretty good order. Okay, so here we go. You're going to see this single wing power wishbone, and there'll be people flying all over the place. And here, get a look at the straight wishbone now, double tight ends. There we go to the single wing. And there we go, it goes to the 3rd man, and there he's off to the races already. And that's 6 points. And that's what I'm talking about. First play from the line of scrimmage. Good ball handling, good ball hiding. The first play from the line of scrimmage, they go in from about 60 yards out. And nice blocking. Had the fullback fake in there and the other halfback lead, and there he goes off the wing. 6 points, just that quick.
That was Colin Studman right there, the man who was deep for the punt. Never touched the ball on the punt, but when he did touch it, he took it all away.
He's got some foot speed when he get blocking like that too. That's awful tough, and that's what we were afraid of coming into here, Wendy.
They're not going to go for 2. They do have a kicker. Going to attempt here.
Little low.
Good set.
I believe it's good. Yep, they say it's good. 7-0 A&M. Very early in the first quarter.
Pretty quick. 10:24 still on the clock.
One play from the line of scrimmage. We didn't get a good look, but for those of you that were watching at home, that's the single wing power wishbone. Have that double tight end set, and then they set it off in the wishbone. They shift that kid over to the wing, and off they go. Just a little sweep to the near side of the field, too. They didn't even go wide.
No, he stepped right up here in front of the bleachers and gave the home crowd the show they were looking for.
That's right. Nice blocking. Pretty to look at, but not pretty as a result for us. So we're going to come out here now and see. We got to reload here. We've got Laramie McMasters and Jesse Vesna back deep.
Pretty much our standard receivers even at home, the home field for us, but and they both got good legs underneath them. They can get the ball down the field.
Okay, a little score. That's going to go out of bounds.
Out of bounds. Jumped out at about the 37-yard line there.
And if they can play defense 3 and out, that's not a bad option because they're going to be illegal procedure on A&M for the kick out of bounds. And it'll be Sage's ball, 1st and 10.
We're just on the 36 there.
So once again, not bad field position.
Dawson again lines up. Got his standard backfield. Striegel had the ball, got it around the right side. Taken by number 10 there. for A&M, Austin Jordan. Not really a tackle. I think he ran into it.
Yeah, I thought he was going to spring away and be able to pick up some more. I mean, we had some blocking. This thing is going to be pass protection.
Out to 36, short of the 37-yard line there.
Okay, shift out to
Dawson's going to try it in the air.
Almost picked off.
Quite make it.
Nice coverage.
Intended for Adam Gaskell. Had a hand up on it.
And then once again, Colin Stedman, Mr. Everything, ran the last touchdown, broke up that play as well. One thing that's always impressed me, Wendy, is that they have so many kids that go both ways, but they're superbly conditioned. They don't seem to get tired and worn out, and they go both ways the whole game. And then they're called upon to do double duty. They have to.
Yeah, we certainly saw that from them in our playoff situation with them a couple of years ago. They're right back at it again.
Here comes a showing blitz. Got a little running room as a result.
Wiggle around the left side, shook off a couple.
Oh, dives forward. Nice effort.
Dove forward, stayed in bounds, I believe.
That was all Pat Striegel. He's going to be close to a first down. And he should have it by about half a length of the football. Looks like, yep, they're getting
brought him down. First down for the Sages.
That last 5 yards was all Pat Striegel.
So a good third play there in that set of downs.
Good second and third effort. Pat was able to get out there and give us a first down and a fresh 4. So here we go. Going to break the huddle.
First and 10 about the 47.
Wideouts come out.
They leave a defender out here on Brian Colbert.
Another passing formation.
Ooh, little miss on the line there. If Striegel gets away from this, it'll be a miracle. Nope, he could.
Somebody had it. There's no flag on that. That had to have been something. I don't know. It was offsides on somebody or illegal procedure, false start on us. But there's no call. All kinds of movement on the far side of the line by both clubs.
We'd see that swatch of yellow go up in the air there, but it didn't happen.
Nothing.
Well, certainly a beautiful night for football.
Yep, he might have lost half a yard.
Great evening here. Sages set up again, second down. Dawson steps back.
There, he's got
wings it up for, just not quite there. Intended for Josh Blickhand.
Josh has overthrown. Josh has good hands, and that's the key to this ball game. Wickham and Marshall are going to have to get their hands on a football. Almost there. That'll come eventually too. We'll get that. We'll get that. Now everybody in the stadium knows we're probably going to throw the ball on this one, so it'll be interesting to see what A&M does. Got a 4-man front, so they're in pass defense. Here comes the blitz right up there.
They're after him. He scoots away, keeps the ball.
Oh, he's got a little room. He's got a first down. Nice job. I'll tell you what, Jack Dawson made a nice move in the open field as he got around to get that first down. They had an inside backer blitzed, virtually untouched, flushed Jack out of the pocket. Jack was able to make a nice move on a corner up in the bottom of your screen, folks, if you're looking at home.
Brought it down to the 37-yard line.
The big loss, we moved the football, and that's where we're dangerous, Wendy, right there. We've got skilled people that can move the football.
First and 10. A little scary sometimes for your quarterback to hang on to the ball, but he makes great strides with it.
Makes things happen. He
makes
does.
it happen.
Got a little equipment timeout here.
They've got it straightened out here. First and 10 for the Sages from the 37. Able to move the ball on the ground. So that's a plus, I'm sure, for Coach Beckwith. He's looking to see what's going to happen here in the grass.
It'd be nice to get that passing game going, too. This really complements the run. We'll see what happens. You're trying to establish that.
Yeah, flags everywhere.
Big hole.
Too many hands.
It'll be on Mike Schroeder, I'm pretty sure. Big left tackle started to slip his block and tackle his man. It's the right idea. You don't want to get it gets away with it, but it was all over the place. Everybody saw it. That happens. That's okay.
Mike Feeney goes out. Brian Colbert in from the sidelines.
So we're going to look at 1st and 20 here.
Stepping off against the Sages. Pretty obvious hold.
Yep.
Backs it up 10 yards. Still first down. But now 1st and 20. Brings it back up to the 47-yard line.
What you do with this one, you play 2 for 10 or 15 and try to get yourself a 3rd and 7 or 3rd and 5, see what happens. So you don't necessarily have to go for it all.
Clock goes under 8 minutes.
Shift into the I.
First period. Dawson hangs off again, pitches out to Striegel. Made a couple of yards there.
Coming up, Austin Jordan coming up, sophomore. Backer coming up, making the stop. Did a nice job. You know, they determine the direction of that football and attack it, don't they? A lot of good pursuit by E&M. They get all over it in a hurry.
It looks like size-wise, you know, as you match up the two teams as they huddle up, I don't see any monster linemen on either side. We seem to be pretty well matched size, you know, foot for foot there.
Good
Dawson
protection.
Back again, long
toss
downfield, and it's complete.
That's what I'm talking about, passing game from any point.
Chris Baker reels that one in. Sages put 6 on the board.
Got a little push off there too that he got away with, but there's a little hand back and forth on there, but we'll take it. That's a nice job, beautiful, nice pass, and that's where we're talking to Coach today. You know, we were worried about the big play at A&M, and he goes, well, you know, we got people that can make big plays too this year, and he's absolutely correct.
Stepped right out on that one. 7:10 left on the clock in the first period, and we're on the board. We're going to attempt our point after with the kick. Number 32, Kit Webb, down, spots it up.
There we go.
He's been practicing this week.
That's right. Brand new ball
got on a little bit.
7 weeks to go in the first quarter.
We'll take a short break from A&M and be right back.
We hope we're back. We're not sure. We have kind of an odd setup here. We'll tell the folks at home that we're in the press box and our cameraman is up on top of the roof, and we have no way of knowing, communicating with him whether we're on the air or not. So we're hoping that we are on the air.
No communication. He swears he can hear us, so we're hoping he's telling us the truth.
Welcome back.
We're talking to each other here. We don't know what we're doing.
That's right. Well, welcome back. It's 7-7 ball game. Sage is getting ready to kick off after a strike to Chris Baker.
Mike Doan gets his first opportunity to go deep for the Sages. And here we go. Down to about the 17-yard line.
And see,
picked up by Stedman
again. Oh, he slips the tackle.
I think they've caught him there.
Yeah. He's dangerous, I'll tell you what. Nice return.
Got the legs, and he certainly looks the defense over. You can, watches upfield all the time, constantly.
I have trouble picking that one up, Coach, because I have we've got house-style windows here, and I was trying to see around a post, like being in Wrigley Field.
Yeah.
And so.
Seeing through the 2-before.
There we go, that's right. But here we're back on now. They come up, here's that wishbone set with double tight ends. Now they slid out to the double wing, and now we're going to see all kinds of movement, and there's a first to the fullback, first man through the line, right through there. He turns forward for about 3 or 4, it looks like.
Kyle Husengay in on the tackle.
And that's the key. You've got to control the line of scrimmage against a wishbone team, and you've got to literally tackle everything that moves, because the ball could be going anywhere. They've got good quarterbacks. They handle the ball well, and that's why it's so tough to beat a wishbone. One thing, though, is wishbone teams are usually not good come from behind ball clubs, because it's a ball control type offense.
Well, they did a great job of hiding the football.
Oh, absolutely. Gives it to Stedman, the same play that he scored on. We've got people out there this time, but still, he's out there close to first down. I think he got it. He got a first down.
Tony Cerveny, the first man there, wrestles him down, but it is a 1st and 10. Just far enough. About a half a football length. Spots right down on the 45-yard line.
That's got to be heartening for a defense to come right back and score like that after you get scored on so early, so quickly. So let's see if we can get a stop here. we're going to have a trouble. We're trying to get a guy
up the middle there. Flags on the play.
We had 12 men on the field. I didn't think we were going to call it. The guy did it kind of like as an afterthought. He was out of the, that's not really even his call, but I think it's going to be 12 men on the field. We were trying to get off.
Seth Wildman was in on the tackle there.
That's what it is. We had a little mix-up defensively, and we were hustling to get off. We couldn't quite make it.
Lacked a couple steps on the far side.
Yeah, I thought they were going to give it to him. Since he wasn't really involved in the line of play, he was not a...
Penalty is declined.
Interesting. So, sure, I mean, they're going to take 2nd and 4.
Second and about 2. The ball's on the 48-yard line.
Just over midfield. Folks. Should be right over our camera. Get a good look right down the line of scrimmage. And let's see how we control the line of scrimmage. We're sitting right here in front of us. That's key.
Offensively, they set up the same way virtually every time. So,
oh yeah, they run. That's all they run. I mean, you can throw out of the wishbone, but usually you don't have the practice that a regular like a pro set or an ISET quarterback would have. But they still throw. They get the job done. They set up in that wishbone with double tights.
Move that back up there.
There's that single wing that's stepping
up.
Here he comes, and see that's always there. But instead, they see that they like it up there. They give it to the fullback, who just plows ahead for maybe 10 yards. They like what they saw. They run a little trap up front. So you got that trap thing up front with the fullback leading. If that's not there, you pull the ball out. It's like a belly roll, and it's a flip to Stedman. It's not a bad combination.
Kyle Hughes-Gay, Seth Wildman in on the tackle there.
They've run that play left or faked to run that play left now 4 or 5 times. And what you do then is you come back in the reverse. You roll the quarterback out to the right after you've set that up, because everybody, you get your defense start flowing that way. Here he comes again. Now it's to him, and there we were in there.
Striegel came right in there on that big rush, big loss. Stedman thrown way back.
And that's what happens when you control the line of scrimmage like that. We did that time with the blitz, and we had all kinds of people in there, and that's good to see.
Came back over midfield. He's going to be at about the 45, 44, 45-yard line.
And that's how you stop the wishbone.
Big play.
Big play. That's nice. Now we got to hold him.
Striegel hustled right through there.
Let's hold them to 5 or less yards here on this next play, and then we put them in a position where they have to maybe throw the football. Let's see what they can do. They come out of that wishbone again. Now they go to the double, so anything could happen.
Definitely
it's a reverse to Stedman right there. Nice block.
This way.
We did what we needed to do, though. We stopped him at about 5 yards. He's going to bring up about a 3rd and 10.
Striegel and Cerveny catch up with him again. So
that was a nice look at. You run that reverse out of there. It's just what I was saying the play before. You run that reverse out of there. We picked it up, but that's hard to see. And if you get the blocking, and still, they pick up 4 or 5 yards on that play. But that's what we need to do. Now it's 3rd and all of 10 yards, maybe 10 and a half.
I think fortunately for us defensively, we have been able to pick those plays up, and they have them in quite a book of them.
A single wing again. Here he comes again, and it's a pass, and there's a pass out of it. He is got the ball. That's first down, and there's
first down there, number 84, Matt Jackson, a senior.
Only 5'9", getting up in the air to get that ball. And don't throw the ball very often, but there it was. You got to respect the fake to the Stedman off the wing, and big play for A&M. They're on the move. 16 yards on that play.
Under 4 minutes in the first period.
To the fullback, off tackle. That was interesting. That particular play, Stedman, instead of going in motion, cut in behind and did a little blocking up in front. So there's yet another look at that. And the fullback, that was a dive all the way.
All the way. Blickan and Chris Baker in on the play there. .21-yard line, second down for the Raiders.
And so far, this ball game is going to boil down to, it looks like it's going to be boiled down to stop Colin Stedman. That's the only thing I've seen so far. 24, here he goes again, and then he's got the ball again, and slip tackle, but he's, there he is, okay. But this is the Colin Stedman show, it looks like.
Moves up into that same position. Tony Cerveny in there again.
Yep. And it's the thing is, the last two plays we've had our secondary coming up, and they've got to commit, which in those kind of situations you have to respect that. That's what opens up their passing game a little bit, because you got secondary coming up making stops on a running play. Clock ticking down. It's going to be 2 minutes and 35 seconds left to go here as they break the huddle. 3rd down and 5. Big play here.
Stedman lines up there. He didn't move that time.
And
he wound up with the ball.
He's going to pick up 2 or 3 yards. It's going to be 4th and... Oh, he's still got the ball.
They didn't whistle him. Didn't whistle it on movement. He could have wrestled away there.
I thought he was stacked up. He's close to a 1st down. I thought
hung on, and fortunately for him, he did, because they didn't whistle it down.
They're looking over. He's going to call for a measurement.
Going to measure it.
So he's that close. That's not good.
I think they thought they had him stopped on forward motion, and he just rolled right around.
He squeaked out of that big punch, that big pocket.
Fortunately, Wildman hung on.
Squirted around. Yeah, so saw that, decided, that doesn't sound right. I haven't heard a whistle. Better hang on to this one. And
stepped right in there again.
See if he's got a 1st down. He does by the length of a football.
Just there, just enough. 1st and 10. So the Raiders plow along up the middle of the field as they did against Clinton.
Monticello. We're going to talk this over. Out comes defensive coordinator Larry Albaugh.
They're going to take a...
Thing is, if we key on Stedman, you got to stop the fullback dive. And that's, I'm sure, what Larry's going to talk about.
We'll take a quick break. Be right back.
Okay, we're back. Little reset there by defensive coordinator Larry Albaugh. Come back. Ball on the 14, 1st and 10 for A&M. Come to the line of scrimmage. There's that wishbone. And it's a fullback dive, and he's stopped at the line of scrimmage.
And just as Kyle Usengay hung right on there.
Just as I was saying before we went to break, Wendy, if you're going to key on Stedman, you've got to stop that fullback dive. That's the other big part of that offense. So nice job on that play.
Mike Mason in there with Usengay on the stop. They did a great job. Picked it right up. A&M comes back to the line. 2nd down, just gained about a foot there.
I think it's a little tougher in here because your secondary, there's nothing behind them. You can play up and play hard. And now the first time we're going to...
right side.
Good job.
Didn't go again. Chris Baker.
Good job by Baker. Held his ground, came in and made the stick. And you got to stay home. He came up, stepped up, took a look in, made the tackle. Nice play.
They lost just about as much as they gained on the last one, so they're about a foot behind the down marker there. 3rd down.
And this is not an area to panic for A&M. They basically have 2 plays down here. They're not in too big of a panic. They know they can move the football.
Brought something in from the sideline there with a player switch.
Here's the wishbone. They switch now. Come up to a double wing up.
Wide out here to the left.
And that's going to be illegal procedure on them. That's a false start.
Flag on the play.
That left wing that stepped up is a false start.
Fortunately, because the pass went right into his arms.
Trevor Higgins moving on that play. 58 seconds left. We'll take a mark back here for the illegal procedure, false start.
And we both
it's good to see that call because
on both sides a little bit of still early season things going on. Later in the year that would not happen.
When you run that single wing though too, you're always moving, and a lot of times it's a timing, and that timing's off. You're gonna get called for that more often than not. We hope.
Right about the 20-yard line. 3rd down.
No pass again. He's in trouble, but he gets your hands up.
I believe he grounded the ball.
Nope.
Didn't quite make it.
Didn't make it. That was a skip up. That was a nice play. Nice play.
Serving in there again. Tony Serving is sticking with these defenders just
absolutely
like glue.
Doing a nice job.
He's going right after.
He's seeing real well and coming up and attacking. And I think, too, our ends are staying home. They're taking a step across the line of scrimmage and looking. And they're staying home, and that's the key. A lot of that misdirection, you get people flying around out there and they're running by you. We're staying home and looking, and we're making some sticks here. It's a nice defensive stand.
Talking to each other. Here we are, 4th and 15. Still on the 20-yard line.
There's a single one.
Do or die. They're sure going to try it, though. They're not going to give up. Not going to give up.
Pass again. Hands up. Big. Oh, Stephen.
Heading towards the end.
Wide open.
Nobody there.
Wide open. Unbelievable.
Nobody there.
Big Steve Donaldson came loose from the inside tackle position and leveled the quarterback. He hung in there and threw a strike. Number 34, Trevor Higgins, the same guy was in motion. He made up for it. He made up for his mistake the last play. Wide open.
Came right back.
Wide open. I didn't get a look. There's
famous corner post is here again.
There is a pillar here in front of me. I can't see half the end zone. I can't see the goal pillar. I got to step around. And I lost track of him too because I couldn't see him.
It was a straight up catch, and unfortunately for us, not a defender.
No,
close enough.
That was a assignment mix up. Assignment mix up there.
Their kick is up and good.
14-7 A&M with 22 to go. 22 seconds to go in the first quarter.
About to end up the first quarter.
This might be whoever ends up with the ball last. You don't know.
Could be. Good back and forth so far.
We showed signs of stopping him. We showed signs of stopping him there. But it's just like I said, you can't make mistakes with this ball club because they're a big play club.
They can definitely put the ball down the field. Obviously have the ability to pass. A couple good receivers there. Stedman, a first-class running back. And the offense, great legs. And
what that offense does do, you're in a position where you have to tackle and cover everybody. And if you miss one assignment, it's a potential big play. And
they can break at any time.
That's right, and it's tough.
That is true. Jesse Vesna, Laramie McMaster's back to receive again for the Sages. 22 seconds left on the clock. We'll just probably one play here before we turn it over in the quarter. A&M ready to put it in the air.
Here we go.
A better kick than last time. Squibs towards the sideline. McMasters picks it up. And caught by 3 Raiders.
Gets it out to the 20,
about the 30-yard
line.
Right at the 30-yard line.
They're not getting bad field position. Got 15 clicks left on the clock here before the end of the first quarter. As Monticello will set, come out here and reload.
First and 10 from the 30.
At the nose of the ball, just on the 30.
Field's laid out north to south here in Moequa. We are on the north end right now. Try it up the middle. Striegel.
Defense was in a 5-man set up front, and that's definitely a stop the run type of defense, which is interesting. So they were in a 4.
Set right up for him there. 36 Ryan Snyder.
Yep, and I think 57 Drew Downs is in there. First quarter is going to end with Monticello on the short end of the stick, 14-7. We'll be right back, folks. Back. Sages come up on the ball here at the start of the second quarter. Second down 10 from their own 30. Dawson back to pass. They pick it up. There we go. Is a man open? If he has it, he has it.
Great toss.
Adam Gaskell down to about the 21-yard line.
Right side to the 21-yard line.
Beautiful. Nice throw by Jack Dawson. You notice Gaskell, total concentration. Looked that ball in, never broke stride. Big gainer for the Sages.
Great hustle, great hands. Steele Sloan.
Yes, absolutely.
Outrunning just a little bit and brought him down. That was great.
That was
play from scrimmage.
That was execution. Nice job. So we'll have a fresh set of 4 here on the 21. And we're threatening right away to come right back in and tie this thing up.
Clicked 8 seconds off the clock and marched right down. First and 10 from the 20.
Pick up the blitz. We pick it up. We've got a man. Oh, intercepted.
The pass is intercepted.
Picked off by Matt Jackson, a senior.
Down on about the 5-yard line.
Still on his feet. And that was just a mix-up, I think, in a pattern play. It didn't look like it was a timing pattern. It didn't look like they had the right.
Jack Dawson sticks in there for the tackle.
Soft little touch in there, and there was nobody there where he should have been there, and that looks like a mix-up there. He had time. I tell you what, they had a blitz on. We picked it up. Did a nice job of picking that up.
Dawson prevents what could have been a huge return.
So now is a situation where we got to stop and get the football back. They come out, run that little wishbone, come there. Stedman lines up in the near side in the wing, goes in motion. And it was a little dive up the middle of the fullback for 4 or 5 yards again. A little quick opener. They run that little trap in there. If it's there, he puts that ball in there, and if it's there, he leaves it. And if it's not, he pulls it out with a belly right. He pulls it out, and he can do whatever with it. You notice that they had the crossbuck going on back there and all kinds of stuff. So
Steve Donaldson, Kyle Usengay, the guys in the middle are trying to do a great job in keeping this contained. They're not breaking up the middle for huge yardage.
No,
but they are definitely skilled.
We've got to get better control of the ball. We've got to get better control of the line of scrimmage though too. We've got to stack some people up there.
They move up, hand off to number 34 there.
We're getting shoved off the ball a little bit. They got a double team on Steve Donaldson.
Brought down by number 26, Chad Marshall. And on the play, it is a first down for A&M, though. Move the ball to about the 36, 37-yard line. Ten and a half minutes left in the second period. A&M 14-7.
There's
motion again.
43 for A&M was up and moving early. That's Alex Stringer, senior.
See how the calls go.
Little break for us there.
A lot of times on those plays, they do set pretty quick. You wonder sometimes if they're just not quite in tune with what they're going to do.
Right. And it's a lot of timing.
And
no, it's
just a minor
with that double wing. Fullback again gets the ball, bounces off one tackler. He's tough. He runs hard. He's back up and picks up. It's going to make it 7 yards to go.
And Snyder, that number 36, their fullback.
Yeah, he runs hard.
He's in there.
He runs hard. Senior, 6 foot, 190 pounds. Runs hard.
Gain of about 4, 2nd and 6. Looks like the ball. .40-yard line, just pretty squarely on the 40-yard line. Same set. Man out wide left.
Stedman has the ball on that little swing. Needs a nice move to the outside. We're there at that time.
Pat Striegel,
the linebacker, rode that game along.
Once again, Tony Servane in there on that tackle.
Well,
Tony playing just fabulous defense.
You notice at that time we controlled the line of scrimmage. We weren't getting pushed back off the line of scrimmage. And when you don't do that, you take away the fullback dive. Your linebackers have a chance to look and go with the flow. So that's crucial. We got to do that every play. Big play here.
About 3rd and 6.
The Raiders. Yep, they need to.
A&M set wide right here.
The draw.
Still up the middle.
Oh my gosh. He's got a first down. Holy cow.
First down.
Kid runs hard. You know that.
Tripped up by Pat Striegel. He just kind of falls forward.
Yeah, 36 Snyder. I tell you what, he's at full speed in about 3 steps. And nice draw. I mean, we picked it up here pretty soon, but hope you could see that at home, folks. That was pretty classic. That's hard to see down the field when you got a screen of 5 or 6 people in front of you, but that's what the draw looks like.
Football comes up dead in the middle of the field. 1st and 10 right on the 50-yard line. 8 minutes left in the second quarter. The A&M Raiders up 14-7, and they are on the move.
Well, I'll tell you what, he runs
Snyder
hard.
again, the ball carrier.
That's about 3 feet off the ground, shoulders square to the ground, head down. And we had pretty good control of the line of scrimmage that play. You saw we had a surge off the ball. We were right there. They still picked up 4.
Be interesting to see his first half numbers. Mike Mason in on that play for the Sages.
We need a turnover here or something good.
They make a valiant effort. Up
Throw
in
back
the middle.
I'll tell you what,
Same ball player.
It's when I coach, that's what I thought. You know, if they can't stop it, then you do it and make them stop it. And so far, we're not stopping it. Big play up there.
Everybody in the middle.
35, first down.
Yeah, everybody in the middle in on that. I mean, Steve Donaldson, Mason, Husingay, they're all there. They just can't quite get him stopped. He has such a burst right up the middle. He's by two of them before they get the opportunity to break him down.
Very quick and a hard runner. And in this kind of offense, he's just perfect for that position. He's a hard hitter, quick. And he's the guy that's going to touch the ball first.
First and 10 on about the 36-yard line. Runs down under 7 minutes on the clock. They are back to pass, flag up in the air.
Looking for Stedman. He's there if they can get the ball to him. No good. Got a flag in the play.
Defended by Mike Feeney. The flag was thrown early on where the ball was really out of his hands. Motion once again against the Raiders, so having a hard time controlling that here early on in the game. This first half, they're moving around a lot.
You pick that up in that kind of offense because you are moving. You're getting a step. It's a timing offense, and if your timing is off, an alert crew will call that on you. These guys so far have picked that up twice now. So we're going to knock it back. 10.
Decided to set the ball back.
Knock it back all the way to the 42. It's going to be first and 15. Give it a little breathing room here for the Sages.
.6:49 on the clock. A&M is up 14-7.
Go to the single wing.
First and 15.
And
same motion, same handoff. Oh, picked it up, but he got away.
He sure fumbled. Oh, there's the break. There's the break I was talking about. There's the break I was talking about.
Flags on the play.
What's this about?
Something going on here late.
That's usually should be our ball still. That usually means unsportsmanlike or something.
I would say those crossed hands are indicative of.
Yep, we keep the ball, and I think they're going to add on to it. I think it's an unsportsmanlike.
Looks like he's gone.
And
it may have been something said.
The player was upset that he may have made a mistake, and I think he said something that a ref overheard and didn't think it was quite appropriate for high school football.
And that's
it's a big one. 15.
It's in the books. You can't do that.
Absolutely.
You have your opinions, but you need to keep them to yourself.
That's correct, and you got to play ball. So that's a big mistake. That really helps us out. That puts the ball in your midfield at about 46. 6:41 to go, and we got the football. That was the break we needed, Wendy.
First and 10 on the 46.
We needed the break.
Sages have the opportunity to come back. 6:40 on the clock. Sages ball, and we are setting up. Dawson gets
this ball is for
behind.
No. Oh, they're going to call that.
Oh,
yeah, they come right back and get it.
Fumble.
I don't know.
I thought his arm was forward.
Oh, clearly it was forward.
Well, they'll look at that one in the films a few times. I believe Mikey's arm was forward.
I think he was in the act of passing. He looked to his left and saw it coming.
Yeah, but
I thought he was stepping forward to throw the football, but you can't play on what we think, so we're back out here. It's A&M ball.
Yeah, neither of our shirts have the vertical stripes, so we are not able to make that call.
I don't think that was the greatest call in the world.
A&M gets it back. First and 10.
And there's Snyder right again, right off tackle, right at us.
Shoots it right up there.
And defense got to be getting a little tired here, Wendy. We've been out in the field a long time.
I would think it's been a long haul. Mike Feeney slows him down there a little bit.
And they did what they needed to do. We needed to take some time off the clock, come down and score, and give our defense a little rest.
Clock ticks down towards 6 minutes here in the second quarter. A&M quickly lines up again. Shifts the back. Up the middle.
Snyder up the middle.
Snyder again, but hey, the Sages pile on.
It's working. It takes time off the clock. They're going to go down under 6.
Picked up maybe a yard to 2.
Now I look for Stedman. Look for 34 Trevor Higgins or 24 Colin Stedman to touch the football in some way.
You're going to have to think that fullback's going to get tired of about 500 pounds of sage on him every time this happens.
You think so. But Stedman and Higgins.
Same
stopped.
Play a little bit to the right, rolled off. Using Gay.
Coach Dice
Mason in there again.
Coach Dice across the way come over to help him with the spot. Fourth down and about 2.
Just want to make exactly sure where it's at.
Well, now you got to say you dive the ball to Stedman again. I mean, you dive the ball to the fullback Snyder.
On about the 33-yard line.
2 or 3 seem like whenever they want it. That's a safe play. That's just a single person handling the football. No turnaround, no chance. Let's see what happens. Here we go.
4th and a fat yard on about the 33 here. And whistles.
There's a flag out. What are we saying? Delay
at the back. Got to
delay game. I'll be darned. Well, that's a mistake that upsets A&M coach Ramsey. Not happy with that.
Yeah. What's the matter with
that?
You
That takes him out of dive range, hopefully. That should change your play section. Now they're going to call a timeout. They're not sure. They want to talk about it wise.
He's gonna question the referee about this clock. He thinks it was a little quick.
Well, we'll let them sort that out, and we'll be back after the break, folks.
Welcome back to Central A&M High School.
Defensive coordinator Larry Albaugh has been out to talk things over with his crew. They're set and ready to play. Coach Ramsey from A&M has called a play on the sidelines out of their huddle, and they'll come directly out. And we'll get back here. 4th and 7, big play, 4:41 left. Sages need to stop here, need to get the football back.
14-7 A&M. They set up.
Looks like they're going to
wide out to the left.
Yep, there and out. There's a slant. Oh,
that pass.
Not quite there. Oh, I'll tell you what, that's a tough
just
one.
a little too late.
Because of that double wing, the first thing that the corner out there is looking for is the run. And that guy does a little slanting like he's going to run block, and then he turns it outside. That's tough. Just out of reach there. And nice job by the corner. Certainly to pick that up and get back in position to make a play. So we catch a little break here.
Playing great defense tonight. We'll have to give him an attaboy for the first half.
That's right.
He's certainly been in there on 90% of what's been going on in the first half here. Dawson.
Draw to Striegel. He's got a little room. He gets by. They stayed home. The inside line. One backer missed him. The other guy stepped up and hung on. Nice play. They didn't go for it.
Wide open number 80. Brought down by number 80.
Bobby Baker, a junior. He stayed home. Wasn't fooled. Nice play action. Little draw to Striegel up there. Still picked up 5 or 6. Call it 5. He misses that tackle. He's off to the races. He's going to pick up some major yardage.
Head for that right sideline.
Absolutely.
Rocket there.
They would have been off to the races. Russ is going to keep it and roll out. Nice little juke. Nice, get up in there. Get up in there. First down. Nice job, Jack.
Grabbed by number 52.
Number 52, Josh Thinner brought him down. Nice little inside juke move. He made that happen. He bought himself some time. Little inside juke move. The linebacker bit on it. He stepped back out and got around and picked up the first down. That'll stop the clock at 3:58 go. The Sages are on the move. 1st and 10 on the 50, right at midfield.
Well, Mike, I believe we've played a really good first half of football here so far. Very few mistakes on the Sages' part. Dawson rolls left.
There you go.
Struggle.
Picks up another 8 or 9 yards on that play.
Close to first down yardage. Brought down there by number 55, Ryan Baker.
Everybody getting in on the defensive play. That's going to be, what did he pick up there? 2nd and 2, let's call it.
Their defense,
those 2 plays really set up other things for the Sages, because now they got to be looking and keying off of Jack, and it just is one more thing you got to look at. We're trying to set up the same kind of thing they are on offense, is that you got to look at different things.
Dawson to Striegel up the right side.
They have the first down.
Hangs on.
First down plus about 5 or 6, so that'll stop the clock with 3:01 as they move the chains at least. Another play's coming in already. We're not wasting any time. But they're going to move the chains and get that sorted out. We're going to be calling another play.
Striegel running up there behind Jason Bennett.
Be nice to go in here all knotted up.
Jason doing a fine job giving him a little running room. 1st and 10 on about the 36, close to the 35. Dawson backs up the pass.
There it is.
Flips it out to Baker.
Baker's got it, and he's got it for the first down. He's out of bounds. We'll stop the clock with 2:49. That only took 12 clicks off.
Chris Baker flipped that pass right up to him, and he steps out of bounds on the right-hand side. And it's 1st and 10 Sages. They have tough yard markers to see here when it gets dark.
Yeah, well, we're getting glare off the window glass, and I'm looking at the clock. We're on the 24.
24 yard line.
25. Hand off to Striegel.
Striegel
gets a little running room and gets out there.
Hammers it
to force down. I tell you what, he had some nice blocking up front, and then from then on it was all Pat Striegel. That's just one of the hard running the ball.
Great effort. This is
second and about a yard.
Extremely interesting situation for the Sages against A&M. This is something that we have not experienced in a couple of years here. We are definitely making some yardage on the ground. Backing up to Striegel again to the right.
First down and then some more.
They're switching left and right.
He's inside the 10.
Seems to work both ways.
Just a little off tackle.
Number 80 again, Bobby Baker.
Baker back in on the stop,
but
inside backer spot. But the interesting thing is he made it 6 yards downfield.
Striegel left and Striegel to the right, and it just
we're moving people off the ball. We're holding our blocks, and we're getting down there and putting some leather on people and pushing people around, and that's what you need.
Yeah, the inside line is just doing a tremendous job. These guys.
And it looks like we can pick up a first down on about the inch marker.
Going back the other way, Dawson's got the ball.
She's close to the 5 here. Oh, they're keying on Striegel. You could see that. Striegel had both inside linebackers and an end hanging off of him. And he's into about the 5.
Ryan Baker in on the tackle there for A&M. They're going to measure.
Official timeout. They're going to measure. No, I don't know what they're going to do. They're wiping off the football.
Close to the
Somebody
5.
had a cleat problem, it looks like.
Yeah, it
looks like a shoe problem.
Equipment
shoe
there somewhere along the line.
Got his shoe taken off. He's back at it. Plays in.
1:45 on the clock.
All kinds of time. Almost don't want to score too early here.
And the Sages
don't want to give them any time back if we can get the ball. We're fortunate enough to put the ball in.
Early on the 5-yard line. 2nd and goal. Dawson snugs down, keeps the ball. They're going to catch him on that one. Drop for about 2 yards there. Loss on the play. Got bumped into there a little bit.
I'm not sure if he was keeping that. It looked like he wanted to, but I don't know what the. We're going to take a timeout now and talk about
corner.
I think that's a good timeout. We got a
timeout is
6. It's 3rd and 6.
Dawson throws a shoe again there.
We want to talk this over. We got 2 plays. And these are big. We got to get knotted up here to get into the half.
1:19 left on the clock. Sages knocking on the door of the A&M Raiders.
And what's been heartening, I think, is to see that we've been able to move the football on the ground. On what's usually a pretty tough Raider defense.
Yeah,
you had a couple of big plays, but this has been a methodical. We just march the ball down the field.
Certainly can't say that it's an effortless situation. It's with great effort, but they're for sure getting the job done, and that's what counts.
The defense is bent but not broken.
Right,
and
they're right there.
So it'll be interesting to see what kind of little adjustments we make at half, and we're going to come back out after talking it over.
So we're in the same situation that A&M is. We have several guys that play both ways, and boy, in 4 quarters of this kind of football, you're down and out. It's tough.
We give the ball.
Fumble.
Oh no.
Fumble.
I'm not sure who got. They're saying that
A&M picks it up.
Man, Striegel never did quite have it. It looks like it got stripped. He was turning back, looking, and Jack tried to get in there. That's looks like somebody from A&M may have been shaken up on the play.
Well, we were knocking on the door, and A&M slammed it in our face.
Maybe timeout for an injury.
We turn it over here.
Number 53, Travis Merrill, coming up limping.
A lineman. Too cool tonight for cramps, but he certainly got stepped on probably. I would say he's hobbling off there.
Picked up something in the instep or something. That get down there and roll around on the ground, that'll happen.
Well, tough break for the Sages. 1:14 left on the clock. We're going to have to try and make something happen here, see if we can get our hands back on the ball. We turn it over deep in their territory, but
I just makes me nervous though. They can, you can break something from anywhere in the field.
Well,
these guys
we've seen that happen, and you know they're knowing that it's this close to halftime, they're going to try to see if they can't get to the other end of the field.
But they'll certainly be running. I think they're going to quarterback
up
sneak.
the middle. Usingay didn't let that happen. Right, stood right up and grabbed a hold of that. Pretty tough to surprise Kyle. He's a pretty good inside player.
Absolutely.
It's hard to get ahead of him.
He's got a good look in there, and he stuck his head right in there and got the job done. Call that 2nd and 9. We might give him that.
They're going to fatten it up a little bit. 2nd and 8.
I guess so.
He hustles plays in from the sideline almost every time he switches a player and brings a play in from the sideline. So
we'll see what happens here. Back up in the old wishbone. They go to the double wing this time.
So just keep an eye out.
And he's right
up
there.
The middle, and they're right there again. They have
Tyler Robbins got a hold of him there and pushed him back. I think they're going to just let it. They're going to let it.
They're going to let the clock run down. We're 14, 13, 12 seconds heading towards halftime here.
So going to end the half 14-7. Not a bad half of football. Sages on the short end. A couple of fumbles that have hurt us here. We were moving the football when I thought we were going to put it in. That is the half. The half will end with the Sages down 14-7 to a tough Central A&M team. We'll be back after the half, folks.
See you in a few minutes.
5 seconds to go. First half, very interesting, Wendy. Turnovers killed us. 2 fumbles and interception. I was talking to Tyree from the paper in Decatur. He actually had Monticello with 3 more yards than A&M for that first half. But the turnovers hurt us. So we'll see. Last turnover was the most costly down. We had the ball. We were in a scoring position. We're only down 14-7, though. I thought we've played pretty good football, and looking forward to the second half.
Yeah, a little surprising halftime information there. Colin Stedman, number 24, their Class A player in the first half, is going to set out the second half. Sore ribs, complains of some ribs and a little pain in his shoulders. They've decided too early in the season to take a chance on him being hurt. So he is not available for the second half.
That's a blow to the Raiders.
That is a huge hole.
Big cog in their offense. He scored that first round from the first play of the line of scrimmage. That's interesting. Well, that's too bad. You don't like to see anybody get hurt.
No, definitely. They've had a superior first half here, and but as I said, too early in the season to take the chance, and he's right down here in front of us, in front of the stands there. His shoulder and ribs obviously wrapped in elastic, and
he's got some ice
out of his pads. So
it's like he may have maybe they're worried about a separation, and that would be longer than a rest for the week.
One game deal, but definitely got ice on the shoulders.
Sure does, absolutely.
So we'll see who steps up and fills that hole for the Raiders in the second half, as Colin Stedman's on the sidelines. Sage is warming a little up on the far side of the field.
Yep, we have a little 1:14 to go. We'll take advantage of it. We were in there a long time and we're making some adjustments, I would imagine. It's just an awful hard, going back to the power wishbone like that with all the motion and so forth. And when you have a fullback that makes things happen like that and runs so hard, pretty potent. So we did bent, but we settled down and played some pretty good football. And so I'm looking forward to a good half here. I've got a good feeling about the second half here. We know we can move the football. So we got that mental part of the game out of the way. We know we can move the football on this team. So
I would hope the Sages came, went in at halftime, came back out feeling a little more confident. I think they came down here somewhat, in anticipation of what might happen. You never know. It was an open door for both teams, and the opportunity. Here we're both starting out the season on a win, and this is a tough second game for both sides. I'd like to think. I don't think A&M thought we were going to be a sweep, and I'm sure the Sages didn't come down here looking at it that way, for the Raiders.
And they're always up for. Everybody's always up for.
Sure, it's a great game. It's been a great game for the past several years, and
we just cannot get over the hump with these guys. So a lot of this game is mental, and you like to see us play them tough like this because you're worried to get into that mindset that they're unbeatable, and it's a big part of the game. So it's good to see us playing hard here and right in the ball game, right in the thick of things. Be interesting to see what happens here with the ensuing. A&M will get the ball here to start the second half. They deferred the first half and gave us the football.
We've got the clock set up here, 12 minutes on it, and ready to go. The referees get into position. The Sages come out. Here come the Raiders onto the field.
We're going to set the ball.
We're ready to start the second half.
Second half here.
Crowd's kind of picked up a little. I think we had some late comers tonight on both sides.
It looks that way.
Well, it seemed to be a little fuller than.
Malik here is celebrating their 150th anniversary down the south here, just down a few blocks in the park. Big celebration going on.
It'll be a good weekend.
Might check and see if there's any late action barbecue here after the ball game, Wendy. You never know. Make a swing through there to see what.
Well, we'll hope we'll take a little bit of the color back to Monticello.
That's right.
We'll see how this second half goes.
And
here we go.
Nice kick is going to stay in bounds. Takes the Sages more. Got men up there now. There we go.
Trevor Higgins on the return.
Put up shy of the 30.
Several Sages up here. Tackle by number 30, Jason Schaum.
Trevor Higgins, nice run.
Trevor Higgins in there. Cerveny in there. Pretty good group. 1st and 10 on the 29.
Well, here come a big test now. Let's see what we do with this first series. As we stated earlier, Colin Stedman, the big gun, is out for A&M. And there's a fullback throw, oh boy. Well into the secondary, close to a first down. Looks like they'll give him a first down.
Right up the middle.
Quick opener to the fullback.
Jesse Vesney in on the tackle.
That's just a quick little trap, and he's off. I mean, they're
using Gay in there.
That's a first down. They'll move the chains.
Well, pretty well like they started off the first half,
Yep.
Bang and away you go. But
well, they're moving people around off there. We've got to make sure we maintain control of the line of scrimmage once again.
Number 34, the ball carrier.
Going to drag some Sages forward for 3 or 4 yards.
Chad Marshall in there on the stop.
.55 Ryan Baker, slow getting up off that one. Mixed it up with big Steve Donaldson in there, had a double team on him, and it was a stalemate. And Steven got all of himself into that play, and he is a load when he gets going. Back up there, they're in the wishbone.
About 2nd and 4.
Single. Now we go to a double wing.
Not quite to midfield here.
And there's a quick end around.
Hand off to number 34.
He cuts up, has a first down. Trevor Higgins, Colin Stedman's replacement.
Brought down by number 73, Seth Wildman.
He hit the corner and made a 90-degree turn and just headed upfield. Didn't he? He ran north-south. That's right there.
Wildman was there when he turned right. But they did get enough for the first down. Across the 50 down to about the 48, 1st and 10. A&M quickly sets.
Into the fall, he sheds a tackle, sheds another tackle. My goodness.
Broke through a couple there.
He runs hard.
Tripped up by Tony Cerveny again.
He's a 190-pounder, and all 190 pounds are moving. You're not going to arm tackle that kid. You got to put a shoulder on him.
Cerveny and Marshall have teamed up here to prevent some potentially disastrous plays here. They stopped these guys from going.
Yeah, we're going to have to
completely down the field.
You don't want to get scored on here to open up the second half. So we got to make a stand in here. We got to dig in here, reach down and get something here.
2nd down, they've just got about a foot to go to pick up the first down here.
It could be a sneak.
Down about the 37, 38-yard line.
Nope. Give it to a fullback.
Right up the middle, just a mound of players in the middle of the field. A&M.
That was actually the surge. That was our people.
Kind of pushed him forward.
Didn't pile in there. The whole pile just went forward.
looks like Tyler Robbins and Steve Donaldson get up off the bottom of the pile there, but enough of a push for the first down. Set the ball squarely on the 35-yard line.
Dangerous area here because you make a mistake here and it's 6.
9:30 left to go in the third quarter.
Come out there in the wishbone. They go to the double wing again.
Raiders have moved fairly steadily here since the kickoff.
And the second man through from the left side.
Lead. Number 35 for A&M.
Clint Osh.
First time we've called his name. I think he must be Stedman's replacement.
Well,
there.
took the near side wing back, goes into the hole, the little lead, the fullback fake dive, and then you give it to third. You got really a double lead. It's almost like a power eye, but it's coming from everywhere. It's hard to pick up.
Robbins and Donaldson go off the other side of the field.
Getting the same effect as a power eye, but it's with finesse. So
Mike Schroeder, Seth Wildman in there in the middle now.
We're not getting any
Ryan
penetration.
Woodham.
If we're getting some penetration, you mess all that up because they don't have the time. They don't have the
34
time like
around
that.
the outside, got
out.
Strung down there. Tripped up by Chad Marshall, and again Servane in on the tackle. Marshall got to him first, and Servane brings up the finishing touch.
Just short, 3rd and inches. And we're going to have to figure out a way to get some penetration. We've got to be pushing people back. We've got to be playing a yard in their backfield.
Falling about to 26, about 8 minutes to go. We have not been able to stop them since the kickoff here in the second half.
Now, this is a Raider game. Ball control, eating up clock, rolling the ball.
4 minutes off the clock here, and they are on the move.
Oh, now hold on. If they wrap him, man.
Got that one there, I believe.
Boy, he's flirting with the first down. If he doesn't have it, it's awful close.
He is close.
Supreme second effort. He's a little slow in getting up. He's been a workhorse tonight, hasn't he?
Tony Servane in there again on the tackle.
Snyder, he got stuck pretty good. Everybody got their head in there. Servane came up, made a nice job. I mean, we're not talking about, 6 inches here? They're going to call for a measurement.
He definitely had that NFL stick. He moved the ball forward there.
Oh, yeah.
When he hit the ground, he moved it up about 2 feet. So,
no
referees got that, set it back.
The quarterback for him say, yeah, they're giving us a first down.
First down.
Gee, is that a surprise? I don't think so.
It was 3rd and inches, and he
got the ball out there. And I tell you what, when you stick the ball like that, it's hard to make a determination. So the first down it is. So the Raiders will get a fresh first down and a fresh 4 on the 25. And once again, we're going to be looking for something to happen here. We need a little break.
1st and 10 on the 25. 7:15 left on the clock. Wide right.
And it's into Snyder again.
Up the middle, but they caught him.
Yep.
Went
a host the wrong way. Usingay.
Kyle Usingay, the main pusher there.
3 or 4 others. Baker was in there.
Loss of about
that's what you
yard and a half.
See what we're playing a yard in their backfield, and that's what you've got to establish. You can't let them be running around and having time to, with all the misdirection and the back to the. It's tough. So that's what you need. And we've gotten back down here, and we've always stiffened up and played pretty hard, playing good defense, but we've got our backs to the wall.
Well, they've been able to contain him up the middle, but this is the time when he will obviously take to the air if he thinks he can get a man far enough down the field.
Double wing, and
no wide out, but it could go anywhere.
Oh, sure. And I think we're going to call motion on that one.
Motion again, I believe. A&M quarterback looks in the air, and he knows which way it's going to go.
Once again, this is a timing offense, and when you're moving like that, you're going to pick up these fouls. Coach not upset, he knows that. But I'll tell you what, if you only get that 1 out of every 10 plays, that's 9 you're running where you're getting a good start in a football, and that's just part of the game. That goes with the wishbone game. A lot of false starts.
Lots of pre-snap motion for him here tonight. They've made that mistake 4 or 5 times here.
He is going to take a timeout and talk about it, looks like. As he knows, he's looking for a timeout.
I think he's
going to make him send somebody in first. This is a little procedural snafu here.
And I would say he better hurry up. Or
Umpire wanted to know. Yeah, the clock is running. No, they're not. The clock is not running. I guess we have a. What do we got?
It stopped. Apparently, they're
That's
letting
an equipment,
do an equipment adjustment here without making a big signal.
But he was able to have a nice chat with Coach Ramsey there while he's getting that fixed, so that works out to their advantage. 2nd and 16, ball on the 31. They come out in the wishbone. Let's see if they're going to shift. Yes, they do. Oh, they shift to double wideouts. They come into the wing.
It's about the most movement they've made tonight there, but
and it's
he's definitely going to try it.
Oh, good smack, and we got it.
We took it away from him.
I'll tell you what. No. It was offensive interference is what it was. That was offensive interference. The Raider and it was underthrown ball, was on our defender's back.
Certainly appeared to be on top of him, but no flag from the referee that was right there.
That's a blown call. I sat there and watched that one. Sorry. He got hit. We had pressure on him from the outside. Outside linebacker came up. We had pressure on him. The ball was underthrown, and it looked to me like the offensive end was on our corners or defender's back. I didn't know if it was a corner or safety. I didn't get a chance to look, but I was looking at the line.
A&M sets it
back. Big play for A&M here.
3rd and 15.
There's a fumble. Hold on to that. Don't let him squirt out of there. Come on.
And
all right. Wow. I'll tell you what. Even the break's been going A&M's way. They fumble the football. Bounces up. The quarterback still takes off. That would have been huge to recover that back.
Caught him before he got back to the first marker, so it's
still going to be about 4th and 15.
14 or 15 here.
Ball's still going to be, what are they calling it? They're going to say that it's on the, well, we'll call it around the 30, 31.
They're going to set it up pretty squarely on the 30-yard line, it looks.
They've given us the ball. They're going to run a play here. They've given us the ball there all night long on the kickoff. The ball's on the 30. So Monticello wants to talk about this.
Timeout by the Raiders.
Oh, Raiders take the timeout.
There's A&M, 5:18 to go in the 3rd quarter. We'll take a short break and be right back.
Let's come back, David. Well, welcome back. Big play here. First big play of the second half here. 4th and 15 for the Raiders. Ball on the 30. They shift out wide. This is a formation we haven't seen yet tonight. Back to pass all the way. We get good rush in there. Anything could happen. We have 2 defenders, and it's incomplete. We're going to take over on the 30. Nice defense.
Great defense.
Nice defense. Very clean.
Adam Gaskell.
Once again, we bent, but we didn't break. The thing is, they took about 7 minutes off there. Took about 7 minutes off the clock there, Wendy.
Yeah, great.
6 minutes, 41 seconds off the clock with that drive. I mean, they're all over the place.
8 up the 3rd quarter there. But
that doesn't bother a team like Monticello so much with the air game that we do have, because we can strike from anywhere at any time.
The Sages come back. 1st and 10, the 30-yard line, 5:16 in the 3rd quarter. Pitch out to Striegel.
Picks up back up the middle. Picks up some tough yardage. Maybe
4 yards.
Yeah, I'd say.
Hard fought.
I'll tell you, I'm impressed the way Central A&M flows to the football.
Number 55, Ryan Baker, in there on the stop.
But I wonder if they're subject to reverses, or if you have anybody with great speed. They have such pursuit. Sometimes running a little bit of I wonder what we have under our sleeve or up our sleeve for. Because boy, they come to the football hard. I mean, from all over the place. They come hard.
Striegel gets outside. Striegel takes it again.
Nice spin,
spins away from
He's going to have a first down, it looks like.
Drops right.
That was all
on the yardage marker.
He gets out there and he's on his own. He makes a little spin move, lowers his shoulder, and picks up another 3 or 4 yards.
I believe they'll give him the first down, and they do. Yeah. 1st and 10, Sages.
And we're moving the football.
Ball squarely up on the 40-yard line. 4:33 left as the clock winds up. A little information in from the sidelines, looks like. Marshall is relaying something to quarterback Jack Dawson. Dawson to Striegel up the middle.
We're going to play a little ball control ourselves, it looks like here.
Good for about 3 yards.
Yeah.
Ryan Baker again on the tackle.
He's been a busy young man this evening in the middle of
there
a
lot. He is
all over the place.
Probably the second major mover in the team. With Stedman being out, he is the major mover in the team.
Well, he's all over the place defensively.
He plays both sides, of course, and does a good job for him. He's our Pat Striegel there.
Oh, Striegel gets a little. Nope, that's Vesna.
Yep.
Hang on to the football. Good job.
Vesna grabs a hold. Mike Doan.
Oh, that was Doan.
That's
the Doanster. I didn't see the number.
We've got the numbers
I was looking by stature. They're both about the same size. The Doanster breaks loose. Nice little move out there. Good job by Mike. Squirted to the outside there and made some things happen.
Brings it up across the midfield. Ball at about the 43. First and 10 Sages.
Right here in front of us from our little perch up here. Get a good view. We go to the eye. Straight eye.
Striegel and Doan in the backfield. Striegel this time up the side. They key on him a little bit.
We were lucky there. Drew Downs, the senior inside lineman, had a clear shot at Striegel and could have dropped him for a couple yard loss. And instead we picked up maybe 2 or 3.
Possibly a yard or 2 there.
Yeah, not bad. I mean, he ran right by him. I mean, that was a pull. You could see everything flowing right at us. And he slipped in from the inside. I think he was so surprised to slip in untouched that he ran right by the play. That happens. Come back up to the ball here. Now we're going to call it
2nd and 8.
2nd and 8 they're going to call it. Give us 2.
Jack on kind of a long call. Drops back to pass.
Oh, that's there. If we can only get
can't quite stretch it.
Chris was looking over his left shoulder. It was thrown over his right. He still almost caught the ball. He was looking.
About 12 inches short of being a hero.
Yeah, that might have been 6 right there, and that's always got to be in the back of A&M's defensive coordinator. He's got to be getting some gray hair down there.
Yeah, I think they're looking down the coaches.
They're all looking. They're gripping the side of the walls there because
making some notes.
That can be. That's a matter of 4 or 5 seconds, and the game is tied. So we go to 3rd and 8.
Josh Blickhand comes in. Brings a little information from Coach John Beckew. Sages lineup. 3rd and 8. Doan and Striegel. Doan moves to the right.
Got a blitz. Pitch
back to Striegel. He's going to try and swing around the corner.
He gets there, and all he's going to
make it a little short of the first down.
I'll tell you what, though, they still had 2 people up, the inside backer and the safety.
Picks up about 5 yards. I hate it when he's that slow getting up off the ground. He's favoring his right arm. That wrist.
He's a tough kid, though. I don't think he's going to.
The referees don't.
He's getting a little breather here, but yeah,
referee's not giving any indication they've seen it.
He's not saying it.
Right
That's not that kind of player. He's not going to show anybody.
No, he's right there. He and Doan side by side.
Big play for the Sages.
Long count. Sages trying to draw him off.
We get a timeout here. Yeah.
Here we go. Yes.
Yeah. Good discipline.
He tried.
Good discipline. Yeah, he was out there barking away pretty hard and
quite get there.
Couldn't get any movement. Good discipline on both ball clubs. They stood there.
Yeah, I thought he had made it work on this side of the A&M line, but they held back. So a short break for the Sages here.
It's a big play. 2 yards, and it could be an awful long distance. It could be the longest yard, just like the movie. Huh? That doesn't seem like very far until you got 11 people trying to stop you from picking it up. So got a lot of options.
We're on 4th down, but 1 minute and 50 seconds before we go into the 4th quarter here, and this is crunch time. You know, this is when we need
not time to panic, but if
try to make it happen.
Even if we're not bending, even if we're not broken, we're bending, but we can't be giving up 6 and 7 minute chunks. And
if they get a stop, we got to control the ball for that long.
3 and 4 and out here would be nice. I don't know. We didn't keep any stats. It'd be nice to see if we have. Have we? I don't think we forced a punt from them.
Not yet. No punts this half. No,
so,
nothing.
We got to figure out a way to stop and get the football back. A little more time to work with. Well, we'll see. Big play here for the Sages. 1:52 left in the 3rd quarter. 2nd and 4 ball on the 35 of A&M.
Pro set.
And he wants to look. There's a little slant.
We got the other side. He got that one in there.
Football. Nice job.
Adam Gaskell hangs on. First down, Sages.
I'll tell you what, Adam did a nice job. He looked that ball in, and he knew that he was going to take a hit.
Moves the ball up to the 20-yard line.
Notice how he cradled that in and just covered it up and took his lumps, but moved the ball Down what? We're about on the 22?
1:46 to go, and the ball on about the 22-yard line.
Okay. Start off in that pro set.
Dawson brings him back up. Gaskell still
Shift
out
to the
wide
eye.
left. Doan and Striegel. Striegel the second man.
Picking his way through it. He goes up for a 4-5. Kind of picking his way through there.
Up the center again.
You know, he's just such a fluid runner. He makes it look so easy, like all the good ones do. But he gets behind his blocker. He just takes a crease, and he's picking his way through.
He definitely makes it happen.
Got good peripheral vision, hangs onto the football.
Number 80 there, Bobby Baker for A&M, has been the center of this defense.
Yeah,
he's been in front of Striegel almost every time.
He's been a workhorse. We shift back to the out here.
Down.
Getting ready to go. Into Doan.
Doan took that one on the first man through.
Took a pretty good lick in there and held on to the football.
Maybe a yard and a half.
That's okay.
42 seconds, 40 seconds as the clock continues to run.
Third and about 4, let's call it. They're calling it 3rd and 3. I don't know. I think it might be closer to 4. We'll see.
Attempting to get the ball inside the 10-yard line here before the quarter turns over.
Backing up here so I can see. Grab me if I start to fall down the stairs here.
Yeah, watch the stair opening here, Mike.
Tear the place up.
16 seconds to go. Dawson comes set.
Shift to the eye out of the pro set. Here we go.
Striegel still second to the right. He's going to score.
They're going to give us a signal because, boy, it sure looked like, he had that, you can almost see the determination.
They waved it off.
He's pretty close.
Got to be inches away from a touchdown.
Boy, I thought he was going to score. I got excited there. You could just see that when he picked the tempo up, he made that first cut, he smelled that goal line. He went.
The clock expires. We're going to switch it to the other field.
Big play. 1st and goal for the Sages.
Right in.
We'll be back in just a minute here, folks.
See you in a second. Welcome back to the start of the 4th quarter here in the Raider country.
Last 12 minutes, and then the Sages are not only knocking on the door, they're about ready to push it in. We couldn't be closer to the goal line without, from where I can see it, it's got to be just...
He is a sneeze away. The width of the pink stripe on the football, I think.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Jack just come in here and sneak it. Just hang on to the football. Let's get this game back to even. See what
really close. He's got the guys in the middle he needs. I think he could put it across there that way. He's going to give it to Striegel. Striegel pushed and they got it.
Touchdown. There we go. Just bullet in there. Nice safe play.
Had the guys in the middle
he was not a shoelace width, though. He was close.
No, it was close. It was a sneeze away, and they were able to do it.
4 ticks off the clock. 14-13 coming in here for the extra point.
Yeah, this is when we cross our fingers that Kit has
that's right.
Has put in the ultimate practice this week.
Just keep your head down, son,
and look at that football and vision the uprights, and here we go. So a chance for the Sages to bring it even with 11:56 on the clock in the 4th quarter. Just got started. They put it in, bring it to within 14-13. The kick is up. And he's made it.
Yeah, we're all now brand new ball game.
Line it up.
11-minute and 54-second ball game here. And you can't ask for anything more than that. Playing down here is always tough. The bus ride is tough, and it just is a great football game.
Yeah, not giving or taking anything away from either side. No. The Sages have not been in this position with A&M on their home field in a long time.
Absolutely not. You've got to go back to our playoff team of 2-3 years ago?
Right.
We had Pyatt was down here, and I think we beat them regular season that year and lost 30-30 in a wild playoff.
Kind of an interesting situation. Saturday playoff game and a heartbreaker there. But boy, this has turned into a ball game.
Absolutely. And we got the momentum shift has got to be with Monticello at this point.
I think
feel up on top of it.
Is awake and thinking here, but they definitely got a great team, and it's going to be an interesting.
This
11:50 is going to be a lot of football played in the next 11.
There's a lot of time left, and we still have to figure out a way. We got to get them stopped without having to take 4 or 5, 6, 7 minutes off the clock.
This is when we need to put the ball back in our hands here in less than 6 minutes. I don't believe we can give up 6 minutes of this quarter, and be effective. We need to have something happen here.
Well, we need to run off 6 or 7 minutes.
Went by him.
It's a live ball. There's it now. Let's hang on to it here.
Chance to catch him.
Okay, we cut him up, and we do. He's going to be about the 15, and we got flags down all over the place.
Something happened here.
Don't know what that was.
Late hit, or something maybe.
Face mask, or who knows? I don't know.
They're gonna,
looks like they're going to march it off against us.
They're going to walk it off against the Sages here
so
real
let's
quick.
see what the call is.
No signal yet, but they're going to change footballs here real quick.
Yeah, it might have been a face mask. You know, he slipped that first barrage. We had 2 or 3 players come through, and it might have been a face mask in there.
$15 yards on that one.
Yeah, let's see the indication. It might have been a face mask. I saw some, when he started to pop through, somebody, yep, it's a face mask.
Yeah.
Yep, there it was.
Well, it has, and there's when there's a crowd like that, that's tough. Hands go a lot of places, and
well, he slipped through. It's once again, we had him back here. I thought we were going to have him right around the 10, 12-yard line, and he slipped through that initial wave. And I think that in that second thing, with
1st and 10 on the 32-yard line,
they shifted to single wing.
As we watch them set up the same way all night long. Here they come up the middle.
That time he came in on the inside. Trevor Higgins, Stedman's place, carrying the football.
Chad Marshall in there on the stop. Tony Cerveny again. Tony's kind of getting beat up on his name here tonight. I'm not sure.
Picked up 4 or 5 yards. The announcer's saying, he's going to be he's going to sleep tomorrow and eat his Wheaties tomorrow for sure. Scoreboard says 2nd and 6. The announcer said 2nd and 5. I'd say we got 2nd and 6.
I'd say the 6 looks closer.
6 looks good to me, too.
11-14 left on the clock.
Double wing, going motion.
Moves.
Quarterback keeps it. We see it. We come out.
Oh, maybe a face.
Nope. No, he got off it. He started, but he got up and got his.
I think the coach.
He got up and
there
got
was
his
a face mask too.
But it was inadvertent when
he's right there on him.
He got his hand down on the jersey.
Yeah, I believe it
put
moved.
It down.
You're
allowed to do that if it's inadvertent. He came up because the kid straight armed him. You've got a right to defend yourself. His arm came out. Hit the face mask, but he dropped it down. Kept his poise.
Stayed right with it. Third down, gained about a yard on the play.
You get a stop here, then it makes A&M think, what do we do? Do we run it down here? Because if they don't make it here,
just shy of 35.
Play with. So big play for the Sages defensively here.
The shift again for the Raiders. Shifts back.
So
looking for the pass, has a man open,
yes,
and he sure has a
fumble the ball, fumble it.
And it's a live ball. They didn't blow it dead. He's coming back down the sideline.
Midfield. There's a flag in the play.
Chris
don't know what that is. There's 2 flags and it's trail in the play. It's definitely our football. It's definitely Sages football.
Flags back up just over the 40
after the fumble pickup. So turnovers coming back and playing Central. It's playing Central A&M just like they did us first half here. It's bounced this way. That's definitely our football though, because whatever that flag was, it was after we had the ball.
Those are momentum-changing plays.
Baker had moved the football. It was up 5 or 10 yards before the flags came out. That was definitely trailing the play. It was already our ball. Looks like it's going to go against maybe a clip.
They're going to talking to the Raiders captain here. It's obviously against the Sages. We're waiting for the call, but
I think what happened is the DB after the Baker came over and picked up the football. I think he laid on the receiver, and you can't do that. You got to let the guy get up and try to
let him try it.
I think that's all right.
So they're going to bring it back.
I'll tell you what it is, Sages ball. Still going to be on about the 30, 32. I'll take that. 10-16 left, tie game. We got the ball on the 32.
Fumble picked up by Chris Baker. Moved it.
Both crowds coming alive now. Sages come up and address the football.
A little more momentum here.
Set.
Dawson down.
Switch to the eye.
Doan and Striegel still in the backfield. First man through is Doan.
Nice play.
Good for about
Striegel
5 yards. Straight up the middle.
Striegel made a big thing. They're keying on Striegel. And when Striegel goes up in the air like he's going to get there right. They sneak.
Great fake.
They're going to say that's nice first down with 5. That leaves you some options, Now you're basically.
Mike Doan. Right up the middle, 4 to 5 yards. They're going to call it 4, 2nd and 6.
We pick up the blitz.
Quick and off
I'll tell you, tough
Baker's
play.
fingertips.
Jake just got a tip on it. Never gave up on it. Big rush. I tell you, we did a nice job. They had both inside linebackers came hard that time up the middle. It was a no fancy, just right up the middle blitz, and we picked it up. That was a real problem for us last week against Meridian, and they've worked on that this week, as I'm sure A&M saw that tape and worked on that themselves. They're trying to put pressure on us, and our offensive line did a nice job.
Yeah, just off Baker's fingertips. He hauled it back in, but just a little too late.
3rd and 5 here.
Dawson
3rd and 6, call it maybe.
Backfield switches. It's going to
He's in
go.
trouble. Just hang on to the
quarterback
football.
keeper, but he couldn't.
That's all you can do. That's okay. Just hang on to it. They had a lot of pressure that time from outside. They sent the inside linebackers last play. They sent the outside linebackers that play.
Somewhat of a broken play there. I don't think Jack really intended to hang on to it.
No.
He did, fortunately.
And that just disrupted the whole thing. I think it was we were going to try to go wide here towards us, and we had people all over the backfield in there, and he did the right thing, didn't cough it up. So we're back to punt.
Dumped about a yard there, 4th down. We're going to punt it away.
Down to about 9:05 to go here. We'll punt with about 9 minutes left in the 4th quarter.
Quick punt.
Good.
Takes
Punt.
him Monticello
Down to the 30. He follows the ball.
He
And that's going to get some people stripping the football.
right there.
Yep. In fact, probably lost a couple of yards.
Line down
about
28, 27.
So the A&M ball with 8:51 left to go in the 4th quarter.
Right there, Pat Bailey is there on the tackle.
Well, every defensive stand now for Monticello is crucial. I mean, we've got to get the ball back, obviously. We'll make some defensive changes here. Let's see if I can. Okay, A&M comes back out with the football. They're in the wishbone. Of course, they do the shift now. They do go double wideouts and the double wing.
They pick up their outside men.
They dive inside to the fullback.
Right up the middle.
I'll tell you, we had hands in the
Everybody's
football.
there.
We had hands in the football. Excuse me, folks. We had hands in the football. He's running hard. He was hanging on to it for dear life because we had our hands in the ball too. I mean, it was.
Marshall and Houston Day come up out of the bottom.
Momentum has shifted in this game slightly, I think, to Monticello. We're playing good defense and.
Clock rolls down towards 8 minutes in the 4th quarter. The Raiders come set.
Here they go to the double wing, double tight ends this time. And it's a reverse. We got people there, but they have a ton of blockers. And I'll tell you what, nice play once again by guess who?
Picked him up right away.
Tony Serve. Right up. Tony right up there. Nice job, T. I'll tell you what, the kid had that was a double reverse, and off of the wings, and he had plenty of blockers in front. And Tony threaded his way up there and made a nice stop.
Really, you know, amazing to watch tonight. He's one of the smallest guys on the field when you look at him stature-wise, but he has been there.
He's got field sense. He's around the football, and that's what you want. The defensive back's got to be around the football.
And they go, hand off to number 35. They catch him up the middle. Probably got the first down, but the Sages line caught him.
Mark it about a couple of.
Backwards he goes.
Chad Marshall, the first Sage to hit him, but there were 8 more right behind.
Oh, right there, the entire line on top of him. But they made the first down. Good effort.
And the clock is stopped for some reason.
Crowd's trying to get fired up here. I'm not sure. And there he puts it in.
Now they're starting in motion. 7:22 as A&M breaks the huddle and comes up to the line of scrimmage. They're in the wishbone. See if they shift. Yep, double tight ends. They shift to the double wing. And here we go. It's a pitch out to, I thought we had him.
Holy cow. Nice hit there again.
Well, we're containing. That was the end came up
across the 45
inside. But we just didn't have anybody up quite soon enough to.
Brought down by number 20, I believe that's Josh Blickhand.
Yeah. And we had the end outside there, so that's good to see. We forced the kid back up. But the flow, we weren't there quite quick enough. A nice gainer. Once again, we bent, but we didn't break. We're going to call it 2nd and 4 in the 47 here with 6:40 left to play as A&M breaks the huddle.
14 all on the scoreboard. Somebody's going to try and do something.
Okay, Wishbone shifts to the single wing. And that's Higgins again, and we go to the fullback dive, and he breaks loose.
first
He just
down
broke the
for
tackle.
A&M.
That was
He
nothing
just
but effort. We had him tackled. He
hammered right up the middle.
had a first down, but he broke the tackle now, and that brings the A&M crowd to their feet.
Yes,
You can hear him here.
gets the crowd into it.
6:22 left.
First and 10 Raiders.
What you don't want them to do is take 4 or 5 minutes off the clock here and score. That's, this is what my fear is. 6:19, the clock is rolling.
Ball is on the 40-yard line.
And we're all tied up here 14-14 if you're just joining us. This has been a whale of a football game. We give it to Higgins outside again on the
Around
lead.
the left side.
Picks up more good yards, 4, 5, 6 yards, 5 or 6 yards on that carry.
Beginning to look like the Raiders of old here, Mike.
Yeah, they are.
They're getting 5 or 6 yards for a play and coming right up the field at us. Either way,
Serving again, making the stoppies.
It's been a fabulous game for both teams.
It's been an important game for Monticello. That was 5:40 left in the ball game and tied 14-14. We can play with these boys.
Not been in this situation for a long time. They've got to feel good about it, regardless.
Okay, they shift to wide. They got double wing.
Right.
And it's a pitch to Higgins, and we got the end.
They're going to catch him there. I believe Houston possibly from the back. Nope, I think that one was.
I'll tell you what play for us too is that Baker came up and forced that play back to the inside.
Baker pushed him back,
and contained, didn't let him get outside, didn't get him around the corner. And when you do that, you force that play back inside, then you should have flow, and the inside backer Husengate came over and put the smack down on him. So we're looking at third and 5, ball on the 35 with 4:55 on the clock, continuing to tick here. A&M breaks out. It's 4:50 left in the ball game as A&M comes out and sets up. They're in double tight end with the wishbone formation. They shift to the double wing, keep the double tights. Dive to that fullback, and he's got the first down. I'll tell you, that's been devastating. That's nothing fancy.
No, that's basic football. They're going right at it. Run first to the left side, then to the right side.
They say we got a big fullback, and he gets a full head of steam, and here he comes. Stop him. And
obviously can tell by the crowd reaction.
First and 10 with the ball on the 30.
First and 10 for the Raiders.
4:30 to play
on the clock. And really, they're doing, Mike, just what we had hoped they wouldn't do. They're eating up the clock.
What you don't want here, the worst case scenario is they score, and we got about 2 minutes and a half left on the clock.
The Sages have just played fabulous football. Held them out.
He's going to throw the ball. He's got a man. No, we're going to do this.
We're right there.
Oh, what are they going to call that? That's our ball.
I believe.
Oh, they're giving it to A&M. Yep, they're giving it to A&M.
They're going to call it a reception by the A&M player.
Well, that's a dual reception. I don't know about that, but
it's first down. First and 10 A&M.
Yep, sure is.
And they are knocking on the door.
Getting down close to 4 minutes left. The ball on the 13, first and 10. Well, that's an interesting.
Well, good hustle on both parts, and A&M came up on the plus side there. They run the man wide right again. Oh, up the gut. Snyder again. Twist, turns, brought down, but he's on about the 5-yard line. Inside the 5, I believe, Mike.
Continuing to roll. Clock continuing to roll. Going to call it second down. They're going to put the ball.
The Sages are going to take a timeout.
Yep. See where they're going to put the football down on the. They're saying it's on the.
Larry Albaugh comes out to talk to the Sages.
They're fired up. The ball's on the 4-yard line, and they can make a first down.
I can't blame them. They're into the game. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back again. Timeout still in progress here. 3:28 on the clock. The Sages and the Raiders tied up 14-all. Raiders football.
Ball game on the line.
Setting right on the 5-yard line. They are knocking on the door.
You almost wish we were going to let them score, and get the ball back a little more time.
The only chance we'd have, unfortunately, because we're down, we're going to run down under 3 minutes here real quick.
So here come the A&M Raiders with a second down and 2 to go. The ball on the 4-yard line. 3:28 left. We're all tied at 14 apiece. They go to that single wing, double tight. 34 was in motion, but we pick him up. He runs hard.
Didn't quite make it. He's down about the 2, maybe a yard and a half, 2-yard line.
looked to me like Higgins was in motion well before the ball was snapped. I mean, he had 2 steps forward before the ball was snapped. I'm standing right behind him. We're going to give him a first and goal here.
First and goal.
3:23 left on the clock.
We got about maybe a yard.
Oh, we need some sort of a break here. A fumble.
We need something huge needs to happen. Raiders talking over. They don't take long in the huddle. They're a pretty quick team to the line.
Well, Mark Ramsey is calling the plays, and send them in. They know what they want to do.
They know what they're going to do. Yard to go. Got
the right tackle.
Flags on the play. Flags on the play.
Right tackle.
Motion again. Yep. Just in a little bit of a hurry. Seth Wildman thought he came out with the football. Thought he was in good shape there. Well, we're going to gain a little bit here. That gives we're going to back him up just a little bit.
The remaining downs or doesn't make any difference here.
Yeah, still first down
left on the 6-yard line. They got
7 yards.
Basically, they got 4 goes at it from the 6-yard line.
And under 3 minutes on the clock.
Right, so 2:56.
Unfortunately, they were able to control the football. What we had hoped they would not be able to do was hang on to the ball and run the clock, but it has worked well for them.
It's to Higgins.
Set.
Oh, we got a nice stick. Loose ball. Sages have it.
The Sages, of course,
we're saying it looks like we do from what I could see.
They're trying to get them unstacked here. Not real
huge. That's our ball.
And it is.
Huge
Sages football.
2:49 left. We pick up the football in about the 5. Well, there again, we didn't break. Huge play.
Now, Mike, we might have a direct line there. We asked for the miracle and got it.
That's right. That's right.
It happened.
That's clean living.
Yeah, we've done the right thing.
That's correct.
You're drinking diet soda. We're doing okay.
That is right. I'll just stick with that. Well,
Sages football.
Now you got an interesting thing, You don't want to risk turning it over yourself with 2:49 left to play. We try to move the ball with Striegel and go into overtime, go into a shootout.
1st and 10 on the 7-yard line. Here we go. Flat pass.
Just hang on to the football.
Just trying to hold on to the ball.
I think that even overtime would favor us because we have a little better passing game. As we played that 7-7, we were tough this summer.
Adam Gaskell comes up with the football here. We're just we need to just hang on to the ball. 2:30 to go. We've got the momentum. We're certainly not at midfield, but we're moving along okay. Got a timeout for equipment here, I think.
Yep.
Looks like Mr.
Kyle
Husengay
has something ripped off his helmet in there or something. That's been a lot going on there. It's been a hard-hitting game. It's been a good football game.
They roll the clock. 2:28 and ticking.
2nd and 7. I'm kind of surprised we put that football in the air like that down here, but...
Well, interesting call since they haven't shown that play all night.
Shift to the eye. And here's what I thought. We give the ball to Striegel straight up the middle.
Up the gut, about 3 yards on the play.
It's going to be about 3rd and 5 from maybe the 16.
About the 15, 16-yard line.
Take your time here,
2
boys.
minutes.
It's going to go under 2. And the clock rolls on. 14-14. Sages football on their own 15, 3rd and 3 here in the 4th quarter at Central A&M.
All tied up in the Raiders' house.
We come off the football, come out of the huddle. Address the football. We're on the line. Here we go.
Just make a run.
Striegel gets outside, has a little running room. He's got the first down.
Breaks and he's
that
down.
Was big.
First down. Yep. Sages.
Little elbow room.
Clock is stopped at 1:35.
I wonder if what you do too is don't try to work the ball up to about midfield and then take a couple of pops deep in the end zone and get out of here.
1st and 10. Ball is on the 22-yard line.
Clock is rolling. Minute 23. Shift to the eye. Double wideouts.
Doan and Striegel.
Jack goes out. He's looking. Oh! Baker had it, dropped it. It was behind him a little bit. He was coming forward and trying to bring it in. Just couldn't quite hang on to it.
Just out of Chris Baker's hands.
That stops the clock at 1:12.
Sages hang on. 2nd and 10. Ball still on the 22-yard line. Dawson brings him to the line. Backfield shifts. Doan
Striegel the lone
to the
back.
left. Striegel up the middle on a delay.
Oh, man.
Help it much.
He picked up
maybe 4 yards.
Tell you what, he's sitting there like a statue. He's waiting for the football. I mean, you can really see that from up top here. The clock is rolling on. 55 seconds.
Under a minute now.
So we reset 3rd and 5 here. I know we're getting to the time. You want to use as much time as you can here and just go to overtime, which I still think if we get to overtime, it's got to favor us because we can throw the football.
May come our way a little bit here.
Yeah.
And they're, Jack's definitely, he's going to try it here, I'm sure. It's 35 seconds to go. 3rd down. We definitely don't want to turn the ball over on downs right here. He's going to keep it.
That's okay. Just hang on to it.
No game, but he hung on to the ball.
And the clock goes. Who's going to take somebody going to take a timeout? A&M takes a timeout here with 25 seconds left.
Yeah, A&M calls timeout.
Sure they do. What you want here then is a squibber and get down there and cover that.
And get down and cover the ball.
So there's enough time left here. This is what it's scary, you know. I mean, A&M, like I said, a tough spot. We couldn't quite get a few more seconds off the clock. I'd feel a lot better.
Yeah, I'd like to have the ball at closer to the 50-yard line, but
well, A&M can throw the ball because you've got to respect.
Yeah,
you got to respect Higgins
yeah.
off that single wing with that swoop stuff, and that sets up the pass. And they've had some guys open out there.
Certainly can't deny that they're going to try that, and you know that's what Coach Ramsey's talking about with them down there. There's no doubt about it.
Well, you got to know that coaches Albaugh, Becky, and Dicer, everybody are talking the same thing over on their side of the field too. I mean, I'm sure the booth people are talking about that as well. That's no secret. Those are the two big weapons off of that. You run it or you fake it and throw out of it. So we'll see what happens here. Sages are going to line up to punt. Ball on their own 27. 25 seconds left. 14-14 in the 4th quarter. 4th down and 4 to go.
Mike Doan.
Number 10, Austin Jordan, the sophomore, is back to receive.
He's back to punt it away.
What I'm looking to be a short punt on the ground somewhere rolling around.
Would have managed to have the ball wiped off. Cleaned up a little bit. Referee obliges.
Here we go. This is high school football at its best right
Michael
here.
Doan. Put a toe in it for the Sages.
Oh, he
Rushed the
gets that
block,
off.
but a good punt.
Yes, it was a nice
Nobody
punt.
standing close, goes over midfield, takes a Sages bounce.
We're going to have
46,
stop the clock with 14 seconds left, and A&M will have the ball with 14 seconds on their half of the field. Nice job.
14 seconds.
Let's stay with it here.
Fourth
Don't want to
quarter.
miss anything. The Raiders are coming out. They know what they want to do. Maybe 1 or 2 plays. It's to see what they're going to do. If they're going to go for the win here, they're at home. Anything could happen. And Monticello wants a timeout. We're going to talk about it. With that, let's take a brief break. We'll be back in a minute. Thank you. Well, we're going to look at the last 14 seconds here in regulation. 14-14, the ball on the 46, 1st and 10, A&M's ball.
Well, an interesting second half. The Sages have held them out. The Raiders haven't scored the entire second half.
Here we go.
7 at halftime. It's 14-14 all with 14 seconds on the clock. So an interesting set of numbers here at the end. The Raiders take the
side of the ball. They're going to go into overtime.
I believe they're going to take overtime.
Sure they are. Nope, they're calling for a timeout now.
And
hey, that's interesting. So they're going for a timeout.
A chance there at a pretty good coach's call. I'd say a long bomb pass now with no chance for Monticello to return it, do anything with it. 8 seconds would be about right if I was going to do that.
I don't think he has the arm to get it into the end zone from here, but anything could happen.
Take a pretty good run, but I'd be a lot more leery of it if Stedman was still in the ball game.
Yeah, you bet. And it's beginning to smell pretty strongly of overtime in here. We'll see what happens. No matter what, Sages have come out and played a tremendous second half, done what they had to do, have held A&M scoreless here in regulation so far. Second half with 8 seconds left to go, and have scored and tied the game up, and that's basically the story here. It's been a hard-hitting game.
It's been an interesting ball game for both teams. Neither of them have been in this position for quite some time. We haven't played an overtime game for a while.
No.
And A&M certainly hasn't been in a position to play an overtime game in a while. So 8 seconds on the clock here in the fourth quarter.
See what they do.
From a week where we've got a good chance to play a little bit more football.
Double wing and double tight ends. And it's a dive to the fullback. He's got a little room, but
not going to happen. We're going to play overtime football.
They're going to stop the clock again.
3 seconds.
We're going to stop the clock again.
3 seconds.
3 seconds.
They got the they definitely have the opportunity to do that. We have to move
I can't see. It's down on they're on about the 41 of Monticello. 3 seconds left to go on regulation.
He rolls it up, and the clock expires.
That's it.
So
we're going to go to overtime, folks. So we'll take a break, and we'll come back with the rest of the action here and the conclusion of this ball game.
Talk to you in a minute.
Okay, we'll set the scene here for you. We're going into overtime. The ball will be placed on the 10. We'll have another coin toss, in which time you can elect to go on offense or defense, or to select it into the field to play. Each team will be given 4 downs from the 10-yard line in which to score. If they score, the other team then will have a chance to score. Whoever comes out at the end of that 4-down series, run by both teams with more points, wins the ball game. If you recover the football within that 4-down series, it becomes your ball. If you rough the passer or commit, I think, a roughing the kicker,
any one of a series of serious fouls,
they get a fresh 4. And additionally, each team has an additional timeout, and will gain a timeout through each overtime period. If we do not score after a series of 8 downs by both teams, we'll go to a second overtime period.
Yeah,
so we'll see what happens here. Who's going to get the ball first?
They do get the opportunity to keep the timeouts they had unused in the second half.
I've got to feel that we would be favored in an overtime situation simply because of our 7-7 strength from the summer, and passing is a little more of our game than it is.
Coin toss is being made right now. They're going to turn it around. They're standing in the center of the field.
Looks like Monticello may have won the toss.
Monticello.
Yeah.
So an opportunity here to. They're going to turn them around. Monticello has won.
See what we're going to do.
A&M has elected to defend the north goal, I believe. The dark end of the field,
That's
yes.
right. It's a little darker down here to me in my mind, from what I understand.
They switch them around in the center of the field here, and the referee will give the call.
Well, this is what high school football is all about, Whitney. I mean, this has been a tremendous ball game. Now, no matter what happens, both these teams are going to walk off this field a winner.
Yeah, right.
You
cannot be proud about how this turned out.
Either club, no matter what happens, this has been a whale of a football game, and everybody who made the trip down here, it was worth it. So we'll go back to the sidelines here, get some last-minute instructions, talk this over. This is when you got to suck it up and reach deep inside because you're tired, you're beat up. I mean, this has been a hard-hitting football game. It's been a clean football game. These kids respect each other. They play hard, and they're well coached, and this is the result. We're 14-14 going into the first overtime.
Well, the Sages have definitely come out tonight way ahead on penalties. We have had very few mistakes, very few flags against us. A&M, of course, the offense they play leads to motion, and
we didn't
had
give
a
up.
number of motion penalties.
We had some tough breaks, 2 big fumbles and interception first half. Came back, and then that bugaboo was A&M's second half. They had some big plays, including a crucial one that could have won the game for them.
Interesting call down here on the pass reception right there at the end of the game, but as it turned out, it washed out. The Sages were able to hold the ball and then ultimately recover it later on.
So, we gave the ball to A&M. It looks like
we're going to start.
So A&M will line up here, and they go to the wishbone.
4 downs,
and they come in. There's the dive, and he goes nowhere. Well, he picked up 2 or 3. I thought it's kind of hard to see at this corner off here, off the glare.
Yeah, this is
a little hard.
Not quite the booth we're used to at home, but it's been great to be here. Now, I will tell our television audience that as you can see, there is no time on the clock. The clock does not come into play.
You run 4
in
downs.
overtime. You strictly have 4 downs and turn it over, and the team that comes out with the most points wins.
So if A&M does score here, let me for the fans at home watching on TV, we get a chance to come back. It's not a sudden death like in the NFL. We go again. The quarterback keeps the ball, pitches out, and he's going to score. Yep, he's going to score.
And they did.
And they hadn't run that option all night, and they saved it for the right time. I had not seen an option all night.
Saved it to the end.
It's a fake to the fullback inside. Now, what that means is they are up 20-14. We're going to have 4 in which to score. Now, it'll be interesting to see. They're going to kick the ball. They're going to go for 2. This could be a big one here.
Well, they saved that play for 4 quarters of regular football.
I mean, they have been diving.
Ran it.
They had been overtime. They had been diving Snyder all night long, the fullback on that dive, and they took that belly dive off, and he runs that little option. Had not seen that all night long. And they saved that.
This extra point on a kick, so.
It is no good.
Left.
It is no good.
Wide left.
Sages are right in the middle of this thing. We are still very much alive. Now we'll get 4 from ours. That's a big miss.
Yes, that's definitely the one point that could come back to haunt you there.
Okay, so to reset the scene here now, A&M scored on their second possession of the 4 that they had in overtime here and lead 20-14. They missed the extra point. Sages will come out now and have the ball on the 10-yard line with 4 plays in which to score. We go with double wideouts. We're in a pro set. Tight end to the right. Stay in the pro set. Oh, and he is. Oh!
Couldn't see. I don't believe he could see the ball.
See the football. He was wide open.
Could see the ball.
He was wide open, and I don't think he saw the ball.
Intended for Adam Gaskell. I think the lights.
Adam turned, and like I said, that's
real
a dark
bright light in that particular corner right there, and I think it just blinded him. He couldn't see the ball.
Could not see.
So would have been a touchdown. He had no one close.
From here, it looks like there's a big shadow in the central part. You come out and step into that bright light. Their lights
it's right there.
That was there. That could have been 6 right there. So we go with 2nd and 10.
He's going to run the same play again.
Oh, in and out of his hands.
In and out of his hands in the end zone. Well, he won't get a chance to do it again, unfortunately, but it almost worked the second time.
Okay, we got 2 plays to go 10 yards. Coach, what do you do here? Maybe roll Jack out, give him the option to throw the football if he feels comfortable. If not, duck his head down and run.
Be interesting to see if almost to be tempted to go the other way with it. It's just hard to say. I don't know what Coach Becky will do.
There's a lot of things you can do, and that's what
situation he hasn't been in a while either.
That's what makes the game fun.
We'll just see what happens.
Go a pro set.
Jack Dawson down, takes the snap, rolls
out,
rolls right, gonna throw it in the end zone, intercepted.
A&M wins the ball game.
That's it.
A&M wins the ball game 20-14 in overtime in a wonderful game. I'll tell you what, the Sages have nothing to be ashamed about. It was a whale of a football game, and they did what they had to do at the end.
Fabulous finish. Interesting game.
Sure, you bet.
A&M winds up on top 20-14. Mike, it's been great being with you tonight.
Pleasure, Wendy, as always. Good
Have a safe trip home, ladies and gentlemen. We'll talk to you next time. Good night.
Good night, everybody.